Welcome to another episode of Purchase to Profits. I'm Seth Ferguson. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our daily interviews with successful real estate investors. And I've put together the top 7 key market drivers I look at when analyzing a real estate market. Go to sethferguson.org to download your free copy. Our guest today is a general partner in over $200 million of multifamily real estate. She also has more than 20 years of investing experience, including single family and land holdings in multiple states. Holly Williams is principal of MQ Ventures. Holly, welcome to Purchase to Profits. It's great to have you on the show.
So great to be here, Seth. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. So let's jump right in, get to the good stuff. And talk to us about your real estate goals right now. What are you looking to accomplish?
So my goal is to help as many people as possible. My goal is not as necessarily monetary, although money is nice, don't get me wrong. But I'm at a point in my life, I discovered multifamily investing as an investor. And I discovered that this was a club that unless you were an uber wealthy individual, most people don't know. So when I first had the opportunity to invest in one of these deals, I thought that I was the only one that didn't know about them. And I thought that all my rich friends or successful people and all this, I thought that they knew about it. But they don't. They just don't know. And they think it's a scam. People that have lots of money that I've known for a very long time that are super CEOs of companies, they don't know.
Yep.
So I got into this thinking, after a 35-year career in advertising, I started this when I still was in advertising, but I became more passionate about this than I was about advertising. So that's when I left advertising. This was last year, about a year ago now. But, I wasn't saving hungry children when I was in advertising, right? Well, I'm still not saving hungry children, but I think that working Americans are an overlooked market segment. In America, nobody really is building new stuff for them. Nobody, everybody's concerned about the people that don't have anything, which is, I'm concerned too. It's not that that's bad, but nobody's concerned about the people that actually work, right? The LVNs, the security guards, those kinds of things, right? So the class B, if you will, working Americans. So I thought that I was helping them, giving them some luxury amenities that, maybe the class A people had, helping them, some of our properties, we have tax people come and help them with their taxes and, those sorts of things. So, but now I've seen that one of the other overlooked market segments in America are those people that maybe are worth, $1 million to $5 million. We worked all our lives. We're in the stock market they're raping and pillaging. Sorry, I've made money in the stock market, but we are brainwashed to believe that if it says Fidelity in it, it must be safe. And it's just not. So I watched my parents have to withdraw the money to live, and it wasn't pretty. Because I don't care how safe your stuff was. If you had to withdraw money in the stock market in 2010, 2011, you were hosed, totally hosed. So, and that's really the only option that we're taught. We're told that this is what you have to do, and we're told that this is how you diversify. You just diversify within stocks. So I found a better way to diversify, to truly diversify, and make passive income, and that can save the principal, frankly. And so that's what keepmore.com is all about.
Yeah.
And so I discovered what Donald Trump and Jared Kushner and, you can talk all you want about Warren Buffett and all of that, but he doesn't go log on to his Vanguard account and buy stocks. That's not what Warren Buffett's doing.
Yeah.
And when he says things like the average investor shouldn't do this, well, why the hell not? Why? Why shouldn't the average investor know about this stuff?
Yeah.
That's BS. I'm sorry, but so that's my mission. So money is happening, right? But it's not it's not what I'm really all about. So to answer your question, my goal is to spread this news to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
And because I'm helping people, the people that have invested with me and that I've invested, we've changed our lives.
Yeah. And you are 100% bang on in saying that so many people, even if they are sophisticated, don't know about real estate. Like every time I sit down with a potential investor, it's like, it's not even a conversation. It's an educational experience because I'm starting from square one with them and teaching them the process. So what, like, how did you open, because you had originally gotten started as a limited partner, as an investor.
Correct.
How did you, who approached you and brought real estate to your life?
So here's what happened to me is that I happened to be on the board of the Texas Tech guns up School of Communications, Advertising, Media, whatever. And I'm on this advisory board, and I met a guy who's a lot about your age, a little older maybe, but young then, named Joe Fairless. So Joe and I happened to both live in New York City. He was starting his career. I had a couple of single-family homes. I had a 4-family house in Brooklyn. So a lot of people know that real estate is a good investment, but they think that it's like no money down and all the slick kind of stuff, and it's easy money, and they do things, it's like flippers, and we're going to go in and fix up something, and they don't think of it as safe.
Yeah.
Right. And I think now that I know what I know, I mean, it's a gazillion times safer than you. Forget it. Don't get me going. So anyways.
No, keep going. I like the rant. Keep going.
Well, I mean, so I invested. So basically what happened was Joe called me one day and said, we were both interested in real estate and all that, but he said, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to hire the guy that wrote Commercial Real Estate Investing for Dummies or whatever, and I'm going to learn how to buy apartment complexes. I said, okay. We went to dinner, right? And one thing led to another. Called me a couple months later. I found this apartment complex in Cincinnati. So I invested in it. And I invested in it through my IRA, which is another way that you can do this. It's awesome. That people don't know about. That's another topic for another day. And I invested in this thing, and I really honestly didn't know. I knew it was real estate. I knew there were benefits. I knew Joe was a business person. He was a very successful, resourceful guy. And so I did it just to help him more than anything else. And so along the way, I started learning about this. So he, was too, right? So it was a learning experience for everybody. They called me, 3 months later, I met this guy. He's got lots of experience, yada, yada, yada. We get on the phone with the guy, whatever. And can you help me raise $1 million? I said, sure. That should be no problem. Because again, I thought this thing is great, but I must be the only one. I'm sure of it. I have friends, if you live in New York City and you live in anything, if you've been here, you're over 35, and you live in anything but a 3rd floor walk-up with roommates, you're probably an accredited investor, right? So I know a lot of people that were accredited investors and were my age. And so I called the richest ones first. And
that's a good plan. They were
like, Holly, love ya. I'll buy advertising from you. I don't know, I got involved with this land thing, or what do you know about construction? Well, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And I hadn't really recognized the power of it yet. I knew it was pretty neat, but I thought it'd be a whole lot easier. So I ended up helping put a significant chunk of money into that deal to get it done, because I do what I say I'm going to do, which is the most important thing in this business. So, or any business really. So that, my friend, really showed me the power of what's going on. So I started making like, 30 grand tax deferred. I wasn't paying taxes on this. At the same time, my parents had passed away a couple of years before that, and they had to withdraw money from the stock market. And, we are conditioned in this country that that's the only thing that we can do. And diversification are different stocks and no load funds and index funds. Well, let me tell you something. I'm telling you here, if you get the terms and conditions of a mutual fund, somebody is paying for these buildings in Manhattan, and it's you and me, and it comes out of the returns.
Yep.
And there's expenses with those funds, and you're paying for it. And that's why the stock market may do double or whatever, but your returns are 15% or whatever. And then on a down year, it's nothing. So if you're relying on that for retirement money, you're in big trouble if it's not, if it's not there, because the government makes you take it out too. They want their taxes. It's the biggest thing. So I don't know. Everybody should read Tony Robbins' book, on this. Oh God, I can't remember. Unbreakable. See, I'm going old. I'll tell you. You'll put a link to it on your.
Yeah, we'll get it all linked up. And like you said, to go back, like that middle class is often overlooked, but
right.
those are the people paying the most amount of taxes, and they're the ones who have nothing saved up for retirement. They don't have any safety net. We've got a safety net for the poor. The ultra wealthy are self-insured and all that stuff. So like you said, like real estate, I just think, the average American and Canadian, that their largest expense in their life is taxes. Like you pay a ridiculous amount of taxes.
And we get nothing. That's the problem that I have. I don't mind paying taxes, but we get nothing, especially in New York City. Every dollar I was making was 50% going to taxes. And you want to know something? Here's the news flash. Is that all the people that are out there talking about, oh, it's okay if we do a 70% tax rate, because they have no taxable income on paper. They're not talking about paying 70% for them.
Yeah. I
guarantee you. Check it out. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And so anybody can call me. I'll show you my bank statements. I'll show you. I had to take my husband to 3 CPAs before he believed me that this was legal. Yeah. You see, we are conditioned, we're brainwashed in this country. And so what happens is that only the rich have access to these things. Because I went to my CPA, I said, why in God's name didn't you tell me about this? And he said, because it's a private investment. And you have to know somebody. So that's when I decided that I was determined to be that know somebody. To be that person who provided access to people based on people that I know and things that I want to invest in. I offer them up to my friends and family and their friends and family. And so I'll get to know you if you reach out to me. And because that's the most important thing, because this isn't for everybody, but I got to tell you, my daughter's college tuition is in it, and I believe in it.
Yeah.
Really do.
100%. So do you have any routines or rituals that you follow that have helped make you successful? So
here's what I do.
Okay.
So, my goal is to work less, not more. Right. It's all about keeping more. And you see, if I'm not paying 50% taxes, I can even make less. Isn't that beautiful? It's a beautiful thing. Oh, do you notice that Jared Kushner pays no taxes, blah, blah, blah. That died down fast, didn't it? Because all of Congress is doing this.
Yeah.
All these people that are telling you about we need free education and we need a tax, 70% tax on the wealthy. They have no paper income. I'm telling you.
Yep. The thing I found very fascinating with that, all the tax statements coming and all that stuff, instead of asking, how can I do that for myself, which is what goes through my head and what goes through, I would say, the more entrepreneurial people, it's focusing, they make them pay more tax. It's shift your focus, because these laws are there for you to take advantage of. So just figure out, okay, well, he's able to do this with real estate. How can I do this for myself?
So here's what I want to do, because I know the secret now. I know the club and I provide access to the club, but I'm choosy about what club it is. So I want to be in the club that puts everything's tilted in favor of the investor, because I'm an investor first. And I want to be in the club that does good stuff. And I want to be in a club with like-minded people that, think the way I do and we do good things at our apartment complexes. We add after-school programs where we can. We do some I want to work with operators that do that. So that said, you can do it two different ways. You can go buy distressed things and fix them up and real Class A stuff for rich people and go and that's okay. That's fine. That's just not kind of what I want to do, because I didn't save hungry children in advertising. I've been quite fortunate, but I tell you what, I'm tired of it going poof. I could do much better things with my money than the government can right now. And so that's how I feel about it. And I don't want to be, anyway. So I think that my rituals are to, get up every day. And the first thing that I do is get my head right. You see, we have negativity all around us, and I'm no different, right? And so it's really important for me to think about all the things that I'm grateful for, and all the things that are good, and the good people that I know. And it's another reason I'm attracted to real estate, is because there really are some good people in my little orbit. And I really do. I've made some great friends, and so I enjoy being with other positive people. And I live in New York City, where everybody hates each other. So, seriously, everybody's like so negative. Let's resist, and let's all, and if you're not, I'm just like, listen, I don't particularly love what's going on either, but let's make lemons out of lemonade if we can, right? How are we going to do that, right? So it's all very negative, and I think that our whole country needs to just get with especially my friends. So I want to really provide, I want to hang around people. So that's my ritual, is to who can I find today, that I can make an impact on their lives, and they can help me stay sort of in the zone, right?
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So let's talk about a keystone deal. So a deal that made a big impact on you and your business. Is that?
Well, I kind of already went through it. Woodland Village in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
One of the first deals I helped Joe, do that thing. And that's when we refinanced it after the second year. I got 40% of my investment back, still kept the same amount of percentage. I've been making $30,000 a year for the last 4. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's what really, I was like, this can't be, this is crazy. That's when I went to my CPA, and the passive losses then offset the other passive gains from our 4-family house in Brooklyn. it was just, oh my God. And
it's basically like free money.
Well, and this is the law. And eventually, and then what we do is we try to roll that over into a 1031 exchange. And I don't know, it's just crazy. And then I started really learning. If you're in a mutual fund, so I got a $65,000. You go along, and I've been successful in business, right? And you get these 1099s. Congratulations, you made $10,000, whatever. Woo! I made $10,000. Well, it's not, but you're paying capital gains on that money. Well, so I got one. Woohoo! You've made $65,000, and oh, by the way, you owe $30,000 in taxes. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. I won't tell you what I said. There could be children watching, but seriously, I didn't take any money out, and I'm like, how could I have to pay $30,000 when I was making $30,000? Oh, by the way, on this other thing with less of an investment.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
So I slowly started moving money over, and then my cash flow got to where it made no sense for me to work anymore.
Yeah. Well, and let's go into then, because you started off raising money for that deal. How have you changed your approach to raising capital now? Because you've been quite successful. So how has that shifted in how you approach the capital raising?
Well, it's almost attraction rather than promotion. I mean, I don't want to do anything that I'm not alongside investors. And I'm amazed to this day at the number of people I love, people that I'm close to, people that think that this is their I'm seriously, my best friend, I was in Dallas recently. I grew up in Texas, and oh my God. Well, I'm okay because I put everything in this annuity. I'm getting 4%. And I'm like, and he's like, that's enough for me to live on. I'm like, okay.
No, it's not. Inflation's what, like 3, let's say?
Knock yourself out,
Yeah.
and I'm just floored that I have other friends that want to do it themselves. And this is work, man. I don't want to do it myself. I mean, seriously, it takes a village and a team to do a multifamily, and I love that. And I try to stay in my lane and I work with people that I love, and my investors, more and more it's just coming to me, and I talk about this everywhere I go because, and I've been speaking. I love going to conferences and speaking, doing podcasts and all of those things. So it's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I was sort of underground when I had a job, right? Because I had this career in advertising. What's even funnier is that some people think that I left advertising because I aged out or got fired or I couldn't find another job. I'm like, oh my God, it's really, because that's what a lot of people do. They become a real estate agent or something. And so that's what they think it's really, that's kind of humorous too.
Well, you aged out at age 29. There you go.
We're brainwashed, right? We're brainwashed. So, and in a way, that was coming. I saw it coming too. It's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah. Well, and one of the most, I would say, frequent questions I get from the listeners and viewers is, that they're beginners, intermediates, and they haven't raised capital before. So they're almost intimidated by that process.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of advice would you give somebody who's starting off, speaking with people about, possibly investing?
Well, so if you can make an investment yourself, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Some people can't do that. You got to have something, though. You're not going to just go find an apartment complex, because this is about relationships with brokers. So, and it's about a business. Get business experience. So if you can say that you've run a business and you know what you're talking about and you've been successful in something, everybody has a story. So the first thing you need to do is figure out your story, right? What do you have to bring to the party, right? Second, and everybody's got something. If you don't think you have something to bring to the party, then you have lots of other problems, then you don't need to be worrying about real estate right now, right? Mm-hmm. Seriously, you have to get your head right. Second thing is I got a coach. I got somebody that, because I live in the bastion of negativity, right? I had to have somebody that every week I could talk to them. So that's part of it. And so that's helped me tremendously. But I didn't do that at first. There are lots of books, meetups, all of those things that everybody talks about are really true. But I would say you've got get as much business experience as you can, get as much, investing experience as you can, and, it'll be fine, right? If it's not going to help you get a loan or anything on a multifamily, but if you understand real estate investing, you really need a fundamental knowledge of this thing.
Yeah.
And you have to, you really have to understand. So people that I spoke recently at a conference with flippers and wholesalers, and they're like, I don't get excited until it's a 15% return. And we're getting like way higher than that, but it's after we sell, right? So they don't understand that an 8% preferred return tax deferred forget it. I mean, that's pretty, depending on the tax bracket you're in, that's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, stock market can't do that consistently. It really can't. It's going to be up and down and up and down. So you need some stable stuff in your portfolio. And we're getting, again, like I said, much bigger than that. And then you save the principal. See, with stocks, you have to sell the assets to get the money. It's crazy. The second thing is that you have to understand that you have to be authentic, because people are, just like I invested with Joe, people invest with me for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have skin in the game too, you're not going to raise a lot of money. And that's just a fact. So I would say get a coach, hang out with people that know what they're doing, partner with them, and then do what you can. Get some business knowledge, whether it's other rental properties, or you have to be able to say that because this is executing a business plan above all. So that's what people want to know, is that you work with people, because I make sure that the business plan is getting executed. You better believe it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, those are some really good tips. So looking ahead, let's say 10 years from now, a decade, where do you see you and your business being?
I think so keepmore.com is something I really believe in, right? So I can see myself, there are other alternatives. This is not the only thing you can do outside of the stock market, right? Mm-hmm. There are other real estate things you can do, but then there are also, oil and gas, depending on your risk tolerance and depending on, there are just a lot of things that you can do for tax that can help you keep more of your money. And all of that changes all the time, right? And so I can see myself I would like to have a conference, a day-long thing about keeping more, right? How ways that you can really keep more of what you worked so hard to do. Yeah. And that's keep more of your time too, and keep more of your sanity, and keep more of anything, right? So I think that's the next thing, and I can see. I just really wanna kind of spread that message all over the place.
Yeah, no, and you'll have to invite me as a guest speaker. I'd be happy.
Without a doubt.
On stage.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Totally do that.
That's awesome. So, we've talked a lot about the impact real estate has had on your life so far. Is there anything we left out in terms of impact?
Well, it's enabled me to stay, closer to I have a teenage daughter, and she's 15. Her name is Mary Quinn. So that's what the MQ, this is really all about her. Right.
Yeah.
And I have a husband that, I have to do something work-wise, so this is good, right? And I think that I have a really nice life. New York is great. I've been here 30 years. I grew up in Houston. I've got a lot of good friends, and it's funny because a lot of them are investors now, right? That I grew up with and stuff, and I'm kind of amazed that some of my advertising friends have yet to come along, but they're getting there.
It's only a matter of time.
That's right. A couple of the really rich people that I called 5 years ago, now they're, okay, tell me one more time what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So I think just impacting as many people as possible, because this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And how are you approaching passing on your real estate knowledge to your daughter? Because I always ask this, my little guy is 2.5 right now. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to communicate what I know about real estate to him without overloading him and turning him off it altogether. How have you found passing on your real estate knowledge to your daughter so far at 15?
Well, so what's funny is that when I quit my job, right, last year, I sat her down and I said, so look at this. So this is blah, 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 blah. This is how mom's going to make money and stuff. And she said, yeah, but I don't see enough to make up for the job you just left. So they're pretty smart.
Yeah.
I think she's a lifeguard this summer, and she has yet to get her first paycheck. And I think that once she gets that paycheck and sees what little's left in it, I think that's going to be an awakening.
Yeah.
And she's not as interested right now. I've told her, see, here's the thing. This is about choices, right? You can listen, you could be a corporate I love the car services. I've been to the Super Bowl. I mean, believe me, I get it. The expense account, I'm staying. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. And for people that want that, that's great. And it's a good thing to experience. And so I don't regret anything, right? But what you want is to have choices and options. If she wants to move to Peoria and have a picket fence, that's great, right? Or if she wants to, be a partner at Goldman Sachs or whatever, that's great too. So I want her to have as many choices as possible, and that you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Everybody should have a job for a little bit. The guy called me the other day. I'm starting to do a little coaching, right? Because people are wanting to know how to do this, and so I figured out. So guy called me. He decided he didn't want to do this, so he quit. Then he decided he didn't want to do that, so he quit. He had decided that education, somebody on Bigger Pockets told him he didn't need a college degree, so he dropped out. I mean, really, what are these people think? So I think all of those things, you need to have a plan B and you need to have options. And so that's that, and so that's kind of what I hope that she'll see. It's about having choices in life and really finding what makes you happy and doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
I have a friend, man, that she just loves this. I mean, I would shoot myself, but she's the CEO now of one of the Nielsen Catalina market. She's a good friend. And I work for Nielsen and Arbitron, the radio and TV ratings people. And I would shoot myself, She loves it. So great. That's fine.
Whatever floats your boat.
That's exactly right. There's not a thing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But now she can invest with you into real estate while loving her job.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how much money she makes lifeguarding. She's going to see how long that takes to pay for that. What did I just buy her? She had to have this, not a Swell bottle. We did that last year. It was like some Yeti thing, but it's a new, Hydro Flask. That's the new thing.
Oh.
You gotta have this $30 water bottle. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm walking around with my free one. It says Gatorade or something on it.
Yeah. Well, she'll have to lifeguard for 2 hours to pay for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for her to realize all that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. Well,
I'm gonna have to have cold water when I'm on the lifeguard. I'll get dehydrated and die.
Well, Holly, this has been a blast. I had a lot of fun talking with you.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So it's
for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, and then we're gonna have a good time. So.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to appearing at your conference. But in the meantime, where can
put it
people
together first?
Oh, for sure.
But I will.
Yeah. If in the meantime, though, where can people find you? I know you were talking about Keep More, and then we've got MQ and all that stuff.
Keepmore.com. I mean, that's really the best place to find me. MQ Ventures goes through the same place. Email me, book a phone call, book a meeting. You can do all that on my website. Find out, more about what's going on. I've got some resources there. Join my mailing list if you want to find out about deals, and it's a great thing, and I'll help you any way I can.
That sounds good. Well, Holly, thanks again for doing this. Had a blast. And to you, our viewers, I wish you well on your journey from purchase to profits. See you next time.
Excellent. Thank you.